Hello, everyone. This is Dave. Welcome to another Everyday Rants. This is podcast number 12. And I know it's been about a week, and I apologize. Just been really busy with work and just everyday life. So, a little behind on getting these out a little bit more consistently, but I will try. So we have one. I have this one I'm doing this one right now. And then tomorrow, which will be Friday, the 5th, the Friday before the big game on Sunday, the Super Bowl. Tomorrow, a buddy of mine, my buddy Rich, is going to be on the podcast. And he was in, I think it was our finale. I think he was in the Haunted Island Season 1 finale that we did over on our Everyday Pulse channel. When we went to Katie's, it was a bar over here on Long Island, a haunted bar. He was on there, my buddy Rich with my buddy Jay, but Rich will be on the podcast tomorrow. We're going to be talking a bunch of stuff. We're gonna talk about the Super Bowl, sports in general, maybe talk about some wrestling, talk about our time because he used to wrestle, train with me also for I don't know, probably a good 5-6 months maybe. And then we'll just talk about just some shit we did when we were younger. We were next door neighbors. Through high school. When I moved to Limbrook, we lived right next door to each other. So we have a lot of funny, crazy stories to tell. But he'll be on tomorrow, my buddy Rich. And today, I want to talk about a couple things. One, I want to talk about, everybody knows that, I have the YouTube channel and I'm pretty big in on YouTube, watching stuff and subscribing to people and watching a lot of videos and there's a lot of cool stuff on YouTube. But this past week, there was this big to-do with the Fine Brothers. If you don't know who the Fine Brothers are, they have a huge YouTube channel where they do a lot of react videos. And basically, they have like kids react to this and elders react to that. Personally, I don't find their stuff entertaining, so I don't subscribe, and nor do I watch a lot of their stuff. To me, I don't know, I just find a lot of the React stuff kind of corny. It's not bad, but, I don't know how they have such a huge following for stuff like that, because, I don't know. I've found better React stuff on YouTube and, than the Fine Brothers. But anyway, so the Fine Brothers went and they wanted to start their own React channel or React world or something like that, where basically they were trying to see, they put this video out there, and the way they explained the video, it was very poorly done. I felt personally, and this is all my personal opinions on the whole thing that revolved around what they did, or tried to do to the YouTube community. So basically, they went on. They had a video where they were trying to basically trademark. What they were trying to say is they wanted to trademark their brand of React videos, kind of like the kids react to this, and elders react to this, and YouTubers react to this. Okay, so they came up with a concept. They wanted to trademark it so nobody else could say, kids react to this stupid whatever trailer or whatever. Okay, whatever. It seems a little odd to me to try to trademark something that's been done forever. They weren't the originators of it. Did they come up with the name Kids React To? Yeah, but my 7-year-old daughter Lauren can come up with that. But anyway, so they did this video where they're basically stating that they started this React channel and they want other people to submit their React stuff to them, do it legally, quote unquote. They kept saying legally in the video, which was a little alarming. And they were gonna then promote it and help them grow, for of course, revenue share of what you're doing. So they wanted to take part of. So let's say on the Everyday Geek channel, I wanted to do with all the kids that were in that short film I did, let's say I wanted to do a kids react to the Squatty Potty commercial. the Squatty Potty commercial that became a viral hit with the unicorn pooping ice cream. What they're saying is that basically they could have me flagged and my video would be blocked on YouTube, which has happened before to me. Not by the Fine Brothers. I have been blocked sometimes with copyright claims on some videos where I've had to take out stuff or just omit the video in general. And that's why you don't really see me too much anymore using too many clips and stuff anymore, just because I can't be bothered with the hassle, doing all the work, looking for these clips that I want to use and stuff. It just wasn't worth the time for me anymore. But so if I was to upload, let's say, kids react to the Squatty Potty commercial, they could, in essence, what they were saying was they could put a copyright claim on me. Which, I don't know who gives them the right to trademark a reaction video when anybody could have everybody has a reaction to something. So what they were trying to say was, do it legally where, like, let's say I came up with that video, I would go through them, they would give me allow me to use the kids react line or whatever. And then, they would get a percentage of my revenue on that, which is fine because I don't make anything on my videos. So I care less, if they want their 10 cents. But it's just the principle of it is that it seems very greedy and like, who the hell are you to get money off of what we're doing when anybody can do a react video? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can't trademark. It's like if I wanted to go and say, I'm going to trademark unboxing subscription boxes and opening Funko Pops. One, no, you can't do that. Two, how, like, what am I going to tell all the other unboxers and everything? Okay, you can do it, but now you have to go through me. I'm going to get a percentage of your money, but I'll allow you to do it. What happens if their stuff's better than mine? I could just block it or say, no, you can't put this up. Basically what they were going to do. But they took a lot of heat, which was warranted. They deserved it. Took a lot of heat. I don't know if they still are, but I know they were up until like yesterday. They were losing a ton of. They were at 14 point something million when they did that. They were at, last time I checked, 13.7 million, which, don't get me wrong, it's still a lot because they're in the millions. But the fact that they've dropped so much is pretty damn sad. It shows that the YouTube community wasn't taking that nonsense. Then they came with an update video where, like, they just like little whiny babies, like, it's not what we meant. We didn't mean that. We meant this. Like, shut up. It was a stupid concept you wanted to do. A greedy fox, man. Anybody could do a reaction video. You guys didn't create it. Anybody could do a reaction video. If I want to put up a video, my two kids react to the Squatty Potty commercial, fuck you if you think you're going to try to flag me. And, shame on YouTube for even allowing them to even get that far. YouTube should have stepped in and said, guys, I don't know if this is the smartest thing to do or some legal aspect that has to do with the Fine Brothers. Like, is every idiot that they know, like, yes men? Like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea, guys. There wasn't one genius that said, this could be taken the wrong way, and what you're trying to do is pretty bad. No. Well, good for them. I hope they lose all their subscribers. I would die laughing if they fell under 10 million. Granted, they still have a lot, but it would be fantastic if they lost over 4 million subscribers because of this stupid greed. And if you're listening to this and you did unsubscribe to Fine Brothers because of this nonsense, why not go over and subscribe to Everyday Geek? Plug. Did you like that? Like how I worked that one in? Excuse me. So yeah, that was the big thing on the internet, was the Fine Brothers and their nonsense. Ugh, it friggin' irritates me. Because it's not something original that they came up with. I mean, if they just came out and said like they were going to try to trademark, they would trademark in just the kids react to or elders react to, okay, can I see that? I guess so. Would I agree with it? Hell no. And I think they would still get backlash for that. Because, What, so nobody could ever say kids react to? How about VH1 just puts a whole claim on reaction videos in general, since they were probably one of the ones that started it back with, their I love the 70s, I love the 80s. Or even the E! Channel when they used to have Talk Soup. That was kind of a reaction. Like getting reaction on certain stuff that happened in pop culture. I don't know. That was just annoying. I was watching a lot of the reactions to that reaction video, which was kind of funny, watching people like react to their stupid video. But yeah, it was crazy. Really dopey. Just a dopey move. Like, why even bother? Who cares? Why bother? Ugh. Oh my god, how stupid. So, off of that, I got getting some good feedback on the channel. It is growing pretty rapidly. Now I want to start getting the podcast channel to grow. So if you are listening to this and you haven't gone over and followed us on SoundCloud, go follow me on SoundCloud, Everyday Rants. And hopefully more podcasts will be coming. It's just, with work and the kids and just every daily life, just doing stuff. It's hard to get these podcasts recorded and put up and everything. But hopefully I can get them going on a more steady basis. I got another short film that I'm working on. I just finished writing it. Now I'm going to go through it again, maybe do some editing in the writing, see about adding, taking stuff out. Got to cast 2 roles for it. I need a female lead, and the male lead I think I have. I got to see. And that should be pretty cool. It's going to be a little comedy, a little short film. And yeah, so that's it on the Everyday Geek stuff, what we're doing over on the channel. I was out today doing some work, my actual job, going out and driving around and visiting some of my clients and stuff. And man, I gotta say, I don't understand what the issue is with all the soccer moms on Long Island driving their SUVs or their minivans and how they cannot drive for shit. It is just baffling how many of these soccer moms can't drive their big cars. In the matter of today, this morning when I was out, I went to drop Lauren off at school. I almost had a SUV soccer mom almost rear-end me because I parked in front of the school where you're supposed to drop off the kids. She came out like a bat out of hell, pulled right behind me, like literally probably 2 inches from hitting my car. And I'm just staring at her like, what is wrong with you? Then I'm on the road, and there is a minivan kind of, not swerving erratically, but kind of like moving over into like the middle lane. They were in the right. So I'm like, I gotta get away from this asshole. So I start pulling around, and again, I see it's a soccer mom. And she's there on the cell phone. Not hands-free, on the cell phone. And in New York, it's illegal to be talking on your cell phone. You have to have a hands-free device. Which means hands-free means it can't be holding it on speaker either. It means your hands are on the wheel and that phone is on the side and you have it going through your speakers. Or your Bluetooth, whatever. I just don't understand why these people get these cars that are so big compared to them and they don't know how to drive it. It is so irritating. It annoys the living hell out of me. They have no clue how to drive. No clue whatsoever. It's absolutely fascinating how they survive on a daily basis. Absolutely fascinating. So I'm all caught up with WWE RAW, and they got some stuff. They're getting set up for the Fastlane pay-per-view. It's the pay-per-view right before WrestleMania, so they're trying to start to set up some storylines and get the road to WrestleMania going. So we got, the main event has been announced. It's going to be Brock Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose versus Roman Reigns in a triple threat main event to see who faces Triple H at WrestleMania for the title. Whatever. The way the writing is for the WWE, and it's so predictable, I predict that, the Wyatts are going to come in and cost Brock the match where he doesn't win. And then, of course, you're going to have Roman Reigns beat Dean Ambrose somehow, and Roman Reigns will go on to WrestleMania to face Triple H for the match that no one gives a shit about. I don't know why they just don't turn Roman Reigns heel already, because he's already getting booed by a majority of the audience. And they're not doing anything to help his character or his development. I mean, even on Raw, they had him in the main event. He was tagging with, what's his face? He was tagging with Ambrose, and they were wrestling, was it the New Day, I think? Might have been the New Day. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank, but I think it was a New Day. But even that match, they had Ambrose handle most of the match, and Reigns just on the outside, waiting to get tagged in. And every time he got tagged in, he'd get booed. He'd be in there for like 2 minutes. Then somehow he would tag out to Dean, who was just in there for like 5 to 10 minutes. So again, they're not showcasing what they should be turning him into. It's just a monster. Just like that Goldberg-esque Steve Austin kind of monster of just beating the crap out of people, not taking crap from anyone. No, they continue to book him like a little baby, where he can't wrestle. The Royal Rumble, he was out for like 20 minutes in the back, resting, because he can't go that long. Excuse me. He's not that wrestling inclined. He's got his 4 or 5 moves that he does constantly. So they're setting up that. They announced there's going to be a rematch for the United States title. It's going to be Kalisto versus Alberto Del Rio. I'm assuming that will be the last match between those two. I'm thinking they'll keep the belt on Kalisto, and then hopefully they set up a nice program for Kalisto at WrestleMania with, maybe do a ladder match for the U.S. title. Get a couple guys in there that are small and fast like him. Maybe Kalisto and maybe a couple guys from NXT can come up. Some of the little guys in there that could really put on a good match. That'd be awesome. And they got the storyline with Sasha Banks now. Got helped out by Becky when Naomi and Tamina turned on her. Whatever. Naomi and Tamina. Just let the NXT girls shine. That's it. Get Bayley up there. Hopefully Nikki gets better and can wrestle again, because I miss her on WWE television, believe me. Brie's still there, but Brie's okay. They got this funny thing going on with Goldust and R-Truth. So we'll see what happens with them. If they, become a good tag, a tag team. Could be funny. The comedy will be very good with those two. So WWE's rolling. They're on their way to road to WrestleMania. So we'll see what they set up in the future weeks, the coming weeks coming up. And the last thing, today is Thursday. It is the 4th. So I'm gonna try to keep this one as short as possible, just because I do have my buddy coming over tomorrow, and we're probably gonna put out a longer podcast because we'll be here just bullshitting and stuff for you guys to listen to. So I'm gonna try to keep this one a little shorter as usual. But today, because it's Throwback Thursday, we're gonna go back in time with Dave. All right, so Throwback Thursday, we're back in time with Dave, and this one was a little bit, not gonna lie, it was inspired by my buddy over there, Matt, at The Word of Yaga. It's his YouTube channel, and if you're on SoundCloud, you can go check out his podcast. It's Yaga, Y-A-G-A, Rambles. My buddy Matt there on his, he did something a couple weeks, I don't know when it was, man, I'm losing track of time, but he did something where he talks about some of his old jobs that he had, and that's what I'm going to do. Throwback Thursday. I'm going to just go back in time and think of some of the old jobs I had and some of the crazy shit I had to do with them, or the crazy stuff I did at them. So let's get into it. So when I first started working, I started working at a pizza place, a pizza restaurant, take out, eat in, all that crap. That place was in Hewlett, which is in Nassau County. Well, basically, it's on Long Island. And Long Island, for those of you that don't know, is split into 2 different counties. There's Nassau County, which is like right outside the city. When you first come into Long Island, that's Nassau County. that's, a smaller part of the island. When you get a little further out east, that turns into Suffolk County. Suffolk County is a lot more land of Long Island than Nassau County. I live in Suffolk County right now, but I grew up in Nassau County, went to school in Nassau County, worked a lot in Nassau County. So Islip was on the south shore of Long Island, and I worked in this little pizzeria. What the hell's the name of it? Two Rows. That's right. Two Rows Pizza. I don't even think it's there anymore. I don't know. I haven't been there in so long, but I don't think it is. And I used to work there with. I got the job because of a family I used to. When I lived, it was like a 2-family house, and I lived with my mother and my stepfather and my brother. We were on the main floor in the basement, and then on the second floor, and then there was a back area, 2-family house, where my neighbors, really great family. This guy Pete, such an awesome guy. He was so cool. He worked at the pizzeria, and I got the job through him. And I was just doing a busboy crap, getting paid minimum, not even minimum wage. It was like off the books. I think I was making like $4 an hour at that time. I'm talking, this was 94, 95, somewhere around there. So I did that for a bunch of years. No real crazy story. I mean, there was some crazy stuff that happened. Like, I remember once I was in the kitchen, and it was just me and the cook. There was a cook back there, I forgot his name, and the owner, this guy, his name was Tony. The owner was up front doing that's where the pizzas were made and all the calzones and all that crap. And in the back was the kitchen, and in the middle of the store, that's where the seating area was with the tables. Then you had the bathrooms, all that stuff. So I'm in the back getting someone's order together. It's like a Saturday night. It's rainy. And when people used to order dinners, they used to give them, a decent sized hero bread, like Italian bread. And they used to cut it, in different slices, so when they get home, they could brick it off, whatever. So I start, now remember, I'm like 15 at this point, working off the books. I'm in the back. Now, mind you, I was not supposed to be handling a knife, but no one there ever monitored anything. So I pick up a knife, and I'm rushing, and I start slicing that bread. And wouldn't you know it, I sliced part of my left index finger. I sliced part of my finger right off, right on the tip. So, like, if you're looking at your index finger, you see how it kind of goes at the top. It's kind of like that perfectly round, like, ovalish shape. Mine does not do that. Mine on my left hand is oval, but then there's like a little bit of a slant, you see. So I sliced off part of my finger. Blood everywhere, all over the knife, all over some of the bread. And this fucking guy I worked with, this cook in the back, he takes the bread, he rips off the part that, like, my blood is on. The other part there's no blood on. He throws that in the bag and gives it out to the people. Comes back, tells Tony I cut myself. They come back, we clean it off. I'm like getting nauseous. I am lightheaded. They wrap it in like a gauze, whatever. Wrap it in like a towel, like a dish towel that was clean. And I go home that night. And this is how fucked up my family was, man. I go home and I'm like, oh my God. I tell my mom, like, I cut part of my finger off. She's like, what? Show me. So I show her. And now this is like maybe 2 hours later, because I did not go home. Don't ask me why. I did not go home. It is still bleeding. So mom goes, oh, okay, we'll see how it is in the morning. I'm like, see how it is in the morning? It's been 2 hours. I'm still bleeding. So we go to we go to the emergency room, and unfortunately, if I kept that little piece, they could have sewn it back on, but because I didn't, it's healed. It healed. They put some medicine on it. They didn't have to stitch it or anything, but they put medicine, and they like put it in some, I don't know, some like type of a liquid or something. It's healed now, and it's better. I mean, it's been, so many years now, but yeah, man, that was crazy. That was fucking gross, and and anybody that knows me, the sight of blood does not sit well with me. And it's funny because when I used to wrestle, I used to try to, I used to cut myself sometimes. When I say cut yourself is when you keep a little blade on you, and when you at the right moment when you get hit, you nick like a little part of your forehead, like a little part right near the hairline or something. You just nick yourself, and then as then the person you're wrestling will start like punching you in the head or hit you with something else, and then that opens it up and starts the bleeding kind of. At least that's how I did it when I did backyard stuff and shit. But the sight of blood, other than that, I mean, used to nauseate me. Still does. Like if I see a lot of blood on TV, I have to turn my head because I just can't see all that blood. So yeah, I worked at that pizza place. I was there for a while. When I got old enough, when I turned 17 and got my driver's permit, I started to do deliveries for them. That was awesome. Because granted, I was still off the books, and my hourly wage didn't go up much. I mean, we're talking now, this was 97. I think I was making like $5 an hour, but the tip money was great. The tip money was great. Delivering pizzas was really good, especially being a high school kid off the books. Back then, regular gas was under $1. When I started driving, I think gas was like 91 or 92 cents for regular. And oh man, but I'll tell you one thing. Remember this if you're listening. If you don't tip your driver well, they will remember that. Because there's some shit I did when granted, again, I was 17. Most kids when they're 17 are stupid, do stupid shit. But I mean, I used to, like if I went to a house and I knew they didn't tip well, there were a few things that were going to happen to your stuff. Okay. If you had ordered a bottle of soda, you could be damn well sure that the whole time I'm walking up to your house or looking for your apartment building, I'm shaking the shit out of that soda. 2, if you had a pizza pie and I knew you didn't tip well, you'd hit like maybe $1. That wasn't great. It had to be 3 or more. That was, hey, whatever. If you don't like it, too bad. If you don't like it or you don't like what I'm saying, it's probably because you never worked for tips. You don't understand that it means a lot when you get tipped well. Now, if you had a pizza pie and you didn't tip well, you could damn well sure that once I got out of the car with your pizza, it would get the one flip over. The one flip over. Hold it, flip it, right back. Just so a little bit of that cheese gets on that top of that roof of that box. Yeah, I was a dick. Whatever. 17. Driving, that's what it was. What else did I used to do? If someone had ordered dinners and they weren't a good tipper, I'd just tip it a little bit. Tip the food a little bit so that a little bit of that sauce comes out into the bag. That's why to this day, when I tip, when I go out to eat, when I order stuff, I tip very well. Very well. So yeah, I was at the pizza place for a while. I see this podcast is going long too, so I'll save some stories for some other times. But I worked at the pizza place. Then I went and started working at my uncle's pizza place over in, I think it was Hicksville. And God, I was working at a pizza place at this point for 2.5 years, and he had a deli, and he just opened up a pizza place and gave me this. And this is my uncle, and gave me this whole spiel about, oh, come over, work for me, and in a couple of months I'll have you running it. You'll be the boss, blah blah. And that, and this was like, I was about to turn 18. I was graduating high school. All I knew is I was going to the community college. I wasn't going away to college or anything like that. I really didn't apply myself in high school, which kind of sucks. Wish I did. So I knew I couldn't get into any high school. But also the community one, I didn't have money. My family didn't have money. It was all financial aid and everything. So I couldn't even have expected them to be able to pay or get loans or whatever for what I needed. But I was like, okay, cool, I'll go. I'll pay my dues for a month or so, and then, I have the experience. I know everything. I knew everything to do in a pizzeria except for make pizzas. There's the only thing I couldn't do. And not make it. Like, once the dough was out, I could do everything else. But I couldn't get the dough. I could never get it to get where it had to be. Oh, man, what a fucking mistake working for family, man. I worked for him maybe about 3 months, maybe 4 months. It was absolute dog shit. Probably one of the worst job experiences I've ever had, and that was working for my family. That was working for my uncle. Because I was there 3 or 4 months, and all I was basically a glorified busboy. Listening to this little schmuck that didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. Didn't even know how to make a good pizza. And I remember I finally, the weekend before, was it my prom? My prom or my junior dinner? I can't remember. Might have been my prom. I don't know. Either way. I think it was my junior dinner, actually, so this was 11th grade. I remember I called my uncle, and I was like, listen, I go, I don't think this is going to work. Well, what's going on? I said, no. I go, I thought I was gonna. You said I was gonna be like a manager or something, or in charge. I go, this past weekend I was mopping the goddamn bathroom. I was like, this isn't gonna work. He's like, no. I was like, no, I'm gonna go back to my old place. So I left there, and then I went for a brief time to go back to the old pizza place I worked at. I was only there for a couple weeks until I left there, and I got a job at a Edwards Food Stores, which was like a Stop and Shop, or like a supermarket. Worked there, did some crazy shit there too. I'll get into that to another time maybe. Basically had to resign from there. That'd be for another story. Then I went and started working at Harrow's, which I've mentioned in the past a few times. I was there for a bunch of years. Left there for one summer to work at another pool place, like above ground pool place. Hated that place, so I was out of there quick. I only lasted a month or two. Went back to Harrow's. Then I left Harrow's and started to work for Bye Bye Baby, which was a retail store that sold baby stuff. Really, I did really good there too for retail. I've always been a really good people person, able to talk to people, and I was always able to suck in as much information as I could. So when someone showed me something new, I would always remember it. And I am still like this to this day. When someone shows me something once or twice, it's probably the only time I need to be shown. Then after that, I don't need you anymore. I got it all under control. So I was there for, I think it was about like 9 months or so. Then another funny story there, or a long story, and had to resign there as well. That's another funny story. I'll get into another day. After Bye Bye Baby, I started to work for a debt consolidation company, which was entertaining. Really makes you depressed when all you're dealing with are people all over the United States and all their debts. Oh, it's so sad. Like, these people. Some of them weren't bad. Some of them were just, I used to sit there and just be like, in my head, be like, oh my God, you poor bastard. How did you get yourself in this much trouble? So I worked there for probably a little over a year. That was okay. Wasn't so bad. I mean, I got paid shit. And I remember just, it was okay. Some of the people I worked with were cool. I still stay in touch with some of the people. Some people were really cool. Some were just cool. Some were just plain assholes. So I left there, and I started to work for this finance company called Standard Funding. They're not in business anymore. They got sold. But I was there for about 8 years. Started off as a sales assistant, which was all types of fun. Kissing ass of management, which it was never my forte. I don't kiss a lot of ass. I will show respect, and I will be respectful as long as I'm given the same respect. I'm not big into that whole, respect your elders thing. No. No. I will respect you until the minute you disrespect me, you can go fuck yourself. The minute someone disrespects me, or my friends, or my family, you can go suck a dick, because I'm done. I'm done. So I don't believe in that whole, I respect elders, but as soon as they're disrespectful to me, nope, I'm done. So I worked at a place where, it was a lot of upper management kissing ass, and I wasn't into that. So I used to butt heads a lot with, the CEO and some of the other managers there, and I really didn't give a fuck. I stood my ground, never backed down, never did, never will, I don't care. When I finally had it there back in 2011, I finally just couldn't take it anymore, all the upper management bullshit. I was doing sales at that time, and, I don't care what anybody says, in any type of business, sales is the lifeblood of any type of business or organization. I'm not saying sales can do everything by themselves. Salespeople can't do the customer service stuff and the collection stuff and the every nuances of everyday business. No, that's not what I'm saying. But salespeople are the people you need out on the forefront, out on the field, bringing in your business. They are the face of your company. The people you hire to be your salespeople in any type of job, that is the face of your company that you're sending out there to meet with your clients, to attract new clients, to retain clients. And the place I worked for, the old place, treated their salespeople like the scum of the earth. And everybody else got treated great. And that always baffled me. I never understood how do you expect to build a good sales team if every 15 minutes they were being berated? We had a sales meeting. It was a conference call. Now, the office was out here in Nassau County on Long Island in Woodbury. So, I used to go in once a week because for some reason they wanted me to sit in an office on a Friday when I could be out on the road visiting and visiting clients and bringing in new clients and making money. They rather me sit at a desk. By 11 o'clock in the morning, I was done with everything I had to do. And I would literally walk around. I would sit on Facebook. I would check all my fantasy teams. Or I'd walk around the offices talking to all my buddies. That's it. That's all I did. That's what they paid me for. 1 day a week. I know a lot of you are like, oh my God, that sounds awesome. No, it wasn't, because if you knew the asshole CEO I had to deal with, believe me. Ugh. Anyway. So, I had this conference call with my old sales manager, who was a cool guy. Still friends with him. He was the problem with my old sales manager is that he was backed into a corner at a point where he just couldn't take it anymore. He was getting abused on a daily basis by the other managers. So I don't blame him for a lot of stuff. He just couldn't do anything anymore. But we had this sales meeting. It was January of 2011. And it's all the salespeople and the sales manager. And I know for a fact that CEO was sitting in there, because he always sat in the meetings quiet just to hear what was going on. And he'd sit there and make his little hand gestures or facial gestures when certain people talked, because he liked everybody. It was a dick. But I remember I'm sitting on the conference call, and they started off with, it's a new year, and we need to see some numbers. So, we're giving you guys 3 months, and at the end of the first quarter, if you guys don't meet your numbers, you'll be fired. What a way to motivate a sales team, right? You have 3 months to meet your numbers, which, by the way, the numbers they gave us were astronomically ridiculous. Ridiculous. It was in the business that I was in, I don't think I got into what the business was. It was premium financing. And for a lot of you out there that you probably don't know what that is, insurance premium financing is basically, I'll give you the layman's terms. Let's say you wanted to open up a deli. You go to your insurance broker. You say, I need insurance for my deli. Your insurance broker comes back and says, here is your policy. It is $8,000 for the year. You go, whoa. I don't have $8,000. Okay. That insurance agency contacts the company I worked for. We'd have a relationship with the agency. Agency contacts the company I worked for. We pay that premium. The insured, you, as wanting to open the deli, you now pay your monthly payments for 9 months to us. So it reduces your, you don't need to have all that high cash flow. And, you pay it at an interest rate, of course, because everybody needs to make money. But that's what I work for, that type of company. So my relationships were all with insurance agents and brokers all throughout New York, Long Island. Now with my new job, I ventured out all over the country. But so just to give you an idea of what it was. So the numbers they used to put for us were ridiculous because of competition, because of insurance companies doing different stuff. So, to start off a sales meeting, to really get your team fired up for the new year, you started off with, if you don't meet your goals, you'll be fired. Well, that's all I needed to know. Literally, as I'm on the conference call, I put it on mute, had it on the phone next to me. I'm at my desk at my house, and I just started contacting other companies. Boom, 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 sending out my resume. Boom, boom, boom. And I had built up a nice resume. I already had 8 years in the business, 5 years on the road, had a huge book of business, had great relationships. So I was always in a niche, a niche market where I knew if certain things didn't pan out, I'm in such a niche market that anywhere I go, most companies know who I am and have heard of me in the business and know, I always knew there was something. So I had a couple offers, had a couple meetings, some in the city, some over the phone. I went with this one company that I'm with now, which I absolutely love, and got hired as an independent contractor, which is what I, was nervous about in the beginning, but I'm a risk taker, so I really didn't care. I was like, you know what? If it doesn't work out, I'll go somewhere else. But it worked out beautifully. I started with them in April of 2011. Going to be celebrating my 5 years soon. independent contractor, my own boss, do what I want, come and go as I please, work when I want. It's fantastic. It's so great, especially with kids, to have the flexibility. And they're great. You know, they really value what you should value in a salesperson. They value what you bring, what you do for them, which is all I ever wanted. That's all. If any of you are listening, you own a business or you work in a business and you have salespeople, you know, you don't have to kiss their ass, no. But salespeople are the lifeblood of any type of business. Without salespeople, you don't have, without salespeople, there are no radio stations because no one's out there selling the ads, selling the ad space. You don't have newspapers without most of them are out of it anyway. But even websites, you don't have a lot of websites if you don't have good salespeople going out there and selling that ad space, selling why you should market with them. You need sales. And that's one thing that my last company didn't understand. And I left there in April, and by July, August, they were sold to another type of finance company. Some people I used to know are out of work. Some are still there. Some I don't talk to anymore because they're just dicks. It is what it is. But yeah, so those are my jobs, So I've done everything. Worked on tips. I've worked in retail. I've worked in different offices. So I really run the gambit of knowing all different types. So that's why, like, when I go to retail stores, I'll never give anybody in retail. I'll never give anybody an attitude. I'll never be nasty to somebody. My wife worked in retail also. That's where we met. I said we met at Harrow's, and we actually both went over to Bye Bye Baby and worked together for the 9 months. But we both, to this day, if we walk up to a store door and we see that they close at, let's say, like 9 o'clock at night, and it's like 8:40, 8:45, we won't even go in. We just turn around and we go back in the car because we know how it felt to be in retail and be like, oh my God, I gotta get out of here. 10 minutes, and then somebody walks in, and you couldn't leave until they left. And those motherfuckers, they stroll. Those motherfuckers that come in 10 minutes before you're about to get out, all they do is stroll. They don't buy anything. They stroll. All of a sudden, it's like 9:30. You're supposed to be out of there a half hour ago, and you're like, oh, Christ. What is this asshole doing? Get out. So, yeah, that's my little, back in time with Dave on this Throwback Thursday. Like I said, I wanted to keep this short, but I don't know. I just start to ramble and have diarrhea of the mouth, and all of a sudden I look up, and it's like 30 to 40 minutes later. But I will have another one tomorrow, unless my buddy backs out. I don't know, but we're on for tomorrow, so I'll get it up sometime tomorrow with my buddy Rich, who, if you don't know who he is, go over, check out on our Everyday Pulse channel, our Haunted Island. It's also on the Everyday Geek. If you go down our playlist, it's under the docu-diary. It's Haunted Island. It was our season finale at Katie's. Rich was in that, if you want to get like a visual of who you'll be hearing the voice of. And he'll be here tomorrow. We'll be talking a bunch of stuff. Super Bowl, sports, wrestling, just us growing up. We got some funny stories I'm sure we'll get into. And that's it. So remember, you could download this free on SoundCloud. And please go over to SoundCloud. Follow us so you get updates on our podcasts. And you can also go over to Everyday Geek, subscribe there. And the podcasts are on there as well if you want to comment or like and share. If you want to share this stuff on your social media like your Twitter or your Facebook, hey, more power to you. We appreciate the support. And again, I want to say I thank you guys. I appreciate you guys listening. And I love you. And I will see you tomorrow.